question. The biggest problem that we have is inability to authenticate what you see. Today you see a Visa logo, but how do you know it's real? You don't know. The 5 senses that we have in physical world has gone. On internet you only have one thing, the pixels that we see. So how do you validate, how do you verify what you see? And that's where you need new technologies to be able to validate what you see. You need a technology that will say, hey, that Visa logo, that MasterCard logo that you see is real. And soon, we're going to be, within about 5 to 7 years, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to have a technology whereby this interview will be created all digital. And then people are not going to be able to validate whether, is that really Henry, is that really Melih? So who is there to say, look, this is authentic, this is not?
So why is it taking so long? 5 to 7 years sounds like you could build a
5 to 7
rocket
years
to Jupiter at that point. So.
5 to 7 years, by the time the technology is there for creating human-like creature, the technology to protect online content exists today.
And again,
I invented it, actually.
Oh, congratulations! So going back to this question though, so is it Visa? I don't know. So I get scammed. Hopefully, it's not that serious. But I mean, isn't it?
It's not about the scariness of it. It's about enablement. Security is not about protecting yourself. Security is about enabling you to do things. It's, you know, when we had the bandits in, you know, Wild West, it wasn't about, oh, I couldn't, you know, do this, do that. It wasn't about, will I be shot or not? It's about enabling me to do business. Today, if I said to you, okay, there is this Taiwanese web shop selling, you know, Armani jeans for $10, you wouldn't go shop with them. Say, oh, too good to be true. Yeah, but he has Armani reseller logo, right? But I can't verify it. So what happens is, internet hasn't happened because we cannot validate what's there. And imagine what would happen to our physical economy if you could not validate a $20 bill I give you. If I say to you, this is $20, and you had no means to validate it, what would happen to our physical economy? It would be chaos. And that's what we have on internet today. You cannot validate what you see.
Although it seems to be working fine. I mean, people are conducting business, and yes, people do get scammed occasionally, and sometimes the credit card companies cover it, sometimes they don't.
That's exactly my point. But it's working fine. We're getting onto aeroplanes, happy chappy, and then comes 9/11. And so, then here we are.
So what is this 9/11 event? Is someone going to go into the Bank of America computers and suddenly steal $70 billion right out of the pockets of people? I mean,
I wish I knew how I would have prevented it. I don't know what it's going to be. That's the, you know, scary bit. I mean, you know, we don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. One thing I know is we're building vulnerability, we're building reliancy, and we're building vulnerability. As to how they're going to hit us, I have no idea. But think this through. In 20 years' time, you're going to buy a $700 PC that's going to have the same processing power as a human brain, right? And we manufacture 170 million of those, and those are all unprotected. Someone could take them over and turn them against us. So we need to do something about it to make sure that we have reduced this vulnerability down.
Great. So I have a follow-up to that, but let's take another question too. Like Jan from California. All right, so I'll ask another question. Sure. So what you just described, where people take over millions of computers and turns them against us. I mean, so what does that mean? Is this rise of the machines, Terminator again? I mean, you know, again, what are they using them to do? Right now, it's the denial of service attack.
It's not the machines turning against you. It's people using machines to turn against you. Just like, you know, if I told you that, you know, 2 planes could take the Twin Towers down, you would have said, yeah, right. You know, so, you know, simple as people taking over those machines to turn against us is the problem.
But there's a huge difference. And again, I don't mean to play it down, but people taking over planes and attacking the World Trade Center is a horrific event. Thousands of people died. It doesn't get any more serious than that. Pretty much everything that I've seen thus far in terms of internet security and crime, it's a pain. It's a nuisance. Today. Somebody else has to pick up the tab, or you have to pick up the tab. You get scammed. You end up opening your life story to somebody who is actually an axe murderer or what have you, but hopefully they don't come and kill you. But mostly it's a nuisance, except for some situations. So again, talk about some of the more serious things that go way beyond that, where it is, in fact, stealing people's money completely and leaving them destitute or what have you. I mean, What could happen here with these security breaches?
Well, you could die. If you're in a hospital and you rely on a machine that has been infiltrated by malware, and if that machine was to malfunction because of that, you would die.
And so why is somebody infiltrating a hospital machine with malware? I mean, is that a practical joke? What are they doing? Why?
Today, criminals are moving on to internet. It started as individuals having fun, hackers proving themselves, but now, as we rely on internet, like you said, you do your online banking on internet, so you become a target. Now there is money involved on internet. So if you are a criminal, which one would be easier? For you to take 20 kilos of heroin and run through the borders, or sit at home and do phishing attack or some malware attack and make money? People make $3 to $4 million a year from these phishing attacks. So don't start, I don't want people to start going into business and doing phishing attacks, but it is a lucrative business and less risky than smuggling drugs.
No, and that's a huge business. So talk about that. I mean, it really is. It's a big industry now. It's billions of dollars a year. So how do the phishing attacks work? Where are they coming from? Why haven't we been able to stop them? Talk about that.
Phishing attack comes from our inability to authenticate. Again, one of the biggest problems that we have. On internet, we have data, we have ability to search that data, but we don't have the ability to authenticate that data. So you receive an email, saying, hey, I'm from PayPal, click this link. You click that link, a malware gets injected to your machine. And now you're taken by most likely a botnet. And a botnet, then that machine could be turned to taking your details, your password details to your bank. It could be taken, it could be used to attack other sites. It could be used for spamming other people. Phishing attack is about grabbing your personal details so that we can, the malware providers can take money from your bank account.
Which is scary. That's a very concrete example of definitely terrifying.
And it's a multi-billion-dollar industry now.
So, Jan, I think we're ready for you in California.
All right.
Yeah, it seems like the malware authors are winning the antivirus wares war, and was wondering how we can get the upper hand on that.
I think you're talking to the right guy.
Okay, very good question. Unfortunately, they are winning the war. The reason is because they are using the fighter jets while we're fighting the war in trenches. It's about time that we change the way that we fight the war, right? Antivirus is a 25-year-old technology, by the way. There is nothing about your PC that's 25-year-old, apart from the very security that you rely upon. So that is based on detection technology, i.e., I'll let everything in, and then I will see which one of the things that I've let in is good or bad. Now, the real world works in a different way. The real world works on a default deny way. For example, when you're coming to the country, you have to show your passport saying that I am entitled to be in this country. It's a default